Hello.
Hi.
In our new lighting.
Yes, our lighting is in, and doesn't it look nice?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they'll be able to tell, but I know for us, for sure, it's definitely nice.
Yeah.
A little fill. Welcome back to our channel, everybody.
Hi.
Nadia.
And Rob.
Today we're actually going to do something very quick, and I've been craving it for a while. My mother would always make mint chutney at home. And it's not like a mint jelly chutney that you serve with a roast lamb. This is our desi mint chutney, which is very spicy, very peppery, and very simple in terms of an ingredients list.
Yeah. My mother makes mint jelly.
It's mint jelly, right?
Mint jelly that we have with like leg of lamb and stuff like that. But it's a very sweet, it's a jelly. It's like it's as sweet as like a raspberry jam or something.
It wiggles.
Yeah, and it wiggles. And I'm not a huge fan, but you didn't hear that here.
So in terms of this, I do recall once my mom was making mint chutney, and she grows both mint and the hot peppers in the garden every summer. And this year, the mint that we'll be using for this chutney is from her garden as well. One year she was making it, we were all in the basement. She put all the chilies in, the mint leaves and everything. She ran the blender. She opened the lid to taste it. Oh, we all immediately started coughing so badly because it was so spicy. Like we couldn't feel any burn, but we all started coughing. We had to actually evacuate the house and wait for it to kind of dissipate in the air.
Put on your hazmat equipment.
I don't think we'll have that.
We're not going to go that far over the top.
No. And it's one of those things where there's no real recipes, just knowing your ingredients, mixing them in, and then going by the taste that you prefer. Obviously, the prevalent taste being mint, and then everything else is just like a supporting flavor.
And one of the things that I've learned in our food discussions is the difference between what we tend to think of in North America as a chutney, which is a sort of a sweet fruit base. Like there's mango chutney or Major Gray's chutney that you see in grocery stores. Yeah, I usually keep some around.
Yeah, I think it's hidden in the second shelf.
Yeah, it's
in the far back.
It's back there somewhere.
But is it Major Gray's chutney?
Yeah, there's Major Gray's chutney, which is like a mango based, but it's sort of a sweet. Again, almost like a jam.
I call it a jam.
Yeah, I would actually call it a jam.
Yeah.
But it's definitely sort of a British tradition. Obviously, they took the sort of Indian chutneys and sweetened them up for the British taste.
Yeah.
And I actually like Major Gray's chutney, the mango chutney, for certain things, so we always have some around. But Indian or traditional Indian chutneys tend not to be sweet. They tend to be more sort of sour
salty.
Bit on the bitter, sour, salty side of things rather than the sweet side.
Yeah.
And then I guess they're meant to accompany curries and meat dishes.
When you think about a curry can be quite spicy, can be quite savory. So the chutney is meant to be there to kind of offset the flavor in terms of it going more sour. In some cases, I believe there's some a bit of sweetness, like in the lemon chutney or lemon achar, which is what ours is. There might be a bit of semblance of a sweetness. It's almost like a Thai food. Like Thai food is very balanced in terms of sour, salty, sweetness. Anything else? Sour, salty, sweetness. It's the same thing. So when you bring all those flavors together, it just takes your food enjoyment and experience to another level. And a lot of our chutneys tend to be very spicy, very pickly, very sour. And I think that's why when the British were in India in history, they couldn't quite handle the powerfulness of those flavors because it's quite pungent. So they made it more sweet for their palate.
Right.
Yeah. So we keep it in our fridge. Rob likes it. I don't like it, but that's because I didn't grow up with those flavor profiles. So to me, I don't quite get it. But there's nothing wrong with it. So if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. That's kind of thing. In this case, this one's going to be sour and salty and spicy. But it's also one of those where you can mix it in with a bit of yogurt and have it on the table as a side dish. Yeah, you don't have to have just the chutney on its own. Some people put the chutney right on the plate, right on the side. And I believe there are some parts in India where they make a slightly sweeter chutney using coconut base. I've never tried those, but I've seen them where it's just on the slightly sweeter side. Yeah.
And the good news is
Yes.
we have a new toy.
We do have a new toy.
We just arrived.
Yes.
It is a Vitamix. And Nadia's been lusting after one of these for years.
I have. I think like when it's on the table, it's almost my size.
Yes. Try not to jump in.
I've been lusting after this for the last 4 or 5 years, but you know, they're not cheap.
To buy them new is really expensive.
Yeah.
But we were talking about it, and while we were talking, I jumped on Facebook Marketplace and found this virtually brand new one
Yeah.
for half the price.
Half
so
the
it seemed like a
price.
good idea.
Rob, what a great find. We actually, we live in downtown Toronto, and the person who's selling this, they live in Brampton. So I think it was like an hour drive. We're like, we'll do it. I was on the phone chatting with the person while we were driving to Brampton to grab this thing. The only thing is, you know, this is just a little bit cloudy. We've tried cleaning it. That's fine. But other than that, they said they've only used it a handful of times. We tested it. It works great. So I'm really looking forward to trying it for the chutney today and other recipes we're going to be trying in the future. This is the Vitamix 5200 model, and they're really built to last. So it's an investment in a way when you think about it.
Yeah.
So we'll be using this today. Very exciting. Now, I've never made this chutney before, so I actually need to call my mom for the ingredients.
ET phone home?
ET phone home. Hold on.
मेरे बच्चे
हाय माँ।
जी
तो चटनी बनाने के लिए क्या क्या है? पुदीना, लेमन,
पुदीने के पत्ते
पुदीने के पत्ते,
लेमन हाफ टी स्पून
हाफ टी स्पून, ओके
हाफ टी स्पून
जी।
1 टमाटो
1 टमाटो, छोटा बड़ा फर्क नहीं पड़ता,
छोटा बड़ा फर्क नहीं पड़ता
ओके
थोड़ा साल्ट
जी।
कैसे
सो आमचूर, लेमन, पुदीने के पत्ते, टमाटर, नमक।
नमक
That's it. Oh,
और हरी मिर्च
हरी मिर्च. Forgot the most important thing.
मेन चीज
We forgot chilies. Chilies on the list. आप मिर्ची कितनी डालती हैं?
आपने तो नहीं खानी
राब ने खानी है, लेकिन वो दही के साथ मिक्स कर लेगा।
चलो 2-3 मिर्चें डाल लो
3 मिर्ची, 4, 3, 4?
क्या डाल लो हाँ
Okay. Okay, ठीक है.
या
She's like, is Rob going to eat it? I'm like, yeah, he's going to eat it. She goes, okay, well. We'll mix it in yogurt. It's okay.
I'm good with hot now.
Yeah, Rob is good with hot now, thankfully.
या
So 3-4 chilies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we do them first so we can flavor the air?
If we start coughing, we know it's gotten too far. But that just means that it's going to taste really great. Okay, Ma. Thank you, Ma.
यू वेलकम गुड लक
Love you, Mama.
बाय
Bye. Okay, so that was minced leaves, 1 tomato. She said doesn't matter what size. She said lemon juice, about a teaspoon or so. We'll do a quarter lemon juice.
Oh, okay.
Amchur powder, which I have. It's mango powder that's going to lend a sourness to it, and salt, and green chilies. We kept forgetting green chilies.
Well, you said, are there 2 chilies or?
Did I already mention chilies?
You mentioned chilies.
so-
But did you mean red chilies and green chilies?
No, just
or-
the green chilies.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's like a
Yeah,
5 ingredient list.
easy.
Easy. Okay, let's get to churning.
Okay.
Tomatoes to the chilies, and the mint are from my mother's garden. So I think I'll put
Can I just take the stems off?
this part.
Yep.
You don't think the Vitamix will pulverize it?
I don't think you want it pulverized because it's usually pretty bitter.
Ah, okay. Forgot to include this in the ingredient list. This is amchur powder. You can buy it in a box like this. It makes it much easier. They're made from tiny little green mangoes that are not quite ripened, and they take the skin, they dehydrate it in the sun mostly, and then they grind it into a powder. Some salt. needs to be pulverized more. My mom said not to add any additional liquid or oil because she said if we want to keep it in the fridge, it shouldn't have any
Need a
additional
little bit
liquid.
more lemon.
I wonder if I should add water and not tell my mom.
The thing about a recipe like this is the quantities tend to vary according to the taste, how minty your mint is.
Yeah.
How, how fresh, I'm sure the amchur powder has variables, so.
We got this about 2 days ago from my mom, so obviously some of the mint, the baby, she tried to pick the young mint so that it would have more water content in it, but obviously I let it dry out too far.
That's why we have a Vitamix.
Yes. There we go. That. I can actually see vapors coming out of it. But that is a good consistency.
Smells good.
And no coughing today. That's the consistency that I like. Go ahead, I've tried it. It was has quite the bite.
It builds up a burn, but it's not like killer.
Whoopsie, sorry.
So that big bunch of mint reduced down to one bowl of mint chutney.
Which means it'll go nicely into a jar. You can see that the liquid is separating from, well, you can't see it there. The liquid is separating a bit from it, but I think I added a bit too much salt. It's tart, it has a heat to it, it's minty. I think I added a bit too much salt.
Actually, I don't find it overly salty.
That's good. So if you add this a bit to a yogurt, it'll make the yogurt a little green. Sometimes when you go to an Indian restaurant, you'll see a bit of a greenish color in the yogurt. More than likely they added the mint chutney to it, and that just gives it more flavor.
It's good.
It's good. I like that there's a bit of a heat build, but I'm enjoying it.
And the thing is, if you do grow mint, you'll always have more mint that you could ever possibly use.
Yeah.
So this is a nice way of keeping it. You store it in the fridge?
My mom says to store it in the fridge. She said not to add any water so that it lasts longer in the fridge, but we'll see how long this lasts. I mean, you can give it to family, you can give it to friends if they want it.
Should keep.
It should keep, but you see the yield is not much. It's just a tiny little bowl from that big bunch of mint. It was easy.
Absolutely.
This is
delicious.
This is mint chutney, the Desi way. Yes. And I'm sure other households may make it a little bit differently, but this is the way my mom makes it. And I've always really enjoyed it. So thank you, Mom. Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
My lips are tingling nicely. It's just sort of a perfect heat level as far as I'm concerned.
So since your surgery, you're all good.
All good.
Everything, you can eat anything now, which is great. So I think that's it for this.
That's it. If you like this, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe so you can see other ones. And we'll see you for the next video.
Hope everyone has a good day.
You too.
Bye.